Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Good morning and welcome back to another video for the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. I hope you're all doing well. Before we get into this amazing video, remember, like, comment and subscribe to the Kop TV. Trying to get to 10k before Christmas and I need your guys' help. Thank you. Right, as you can see, again, on the rooftop, we've got the incredible Liver building in the background. Where's it? There, as you can see. I've got the Novotel Hotel, not a paid shout out that one at all, but if they want to put me up, well, there's no need because I live here now. I'm chatting rubbish. I'm chatting rubbish. This is a very important video and it's entitled Don't Go Nat. Now, as you guys all know, and if you don't know, get to know, someone asked me on the comments in yesterday's video, what are my thoughts on Nat Phillips? Guys, if you've been watching the Kop TV, you should be well aware of what my feelings on Nat Phillips are. He's my phone wallpaper. He's a man that Jurgen Klopp has called immense, and averaged 7.19 rating in 17 Premier League games last season. An article this morning from Read Liverpool that isn't a very nice one to read for me, as such a big fan of Nat Phillips. Let me know what you think of Nat Phillips in the comments right away. But this article says, by Leverkusen, interest in Liverpool hero, because he is a hero, Nat Phillips. We read on a little bit. Liverpool defender Nat Phillips is attracting plenty of potential suitors this summer following a string of end-of-season heroics. Again, we can't play down the role that Nat Phillips and Reece Williams, to be fair, had in that run in the end of the season that got us not only Champions League, but third place in the end, guys. The 24-year-old was an unlikely catalyst for a Premier League revival at Anfield last season, and this one says, Bayern Leverkusen are interested in Phillips. The club have, so just say that bit again, Bayern Leverkusen are interested in Nat Phillips. The club have registered interest with the player's agent. Brighton, Burnley, Newcastle and West Ham could still all move for the centre-back this summer, and the picture that's accompanying it is Nat Phillips with a big bandage round his head, which is what I want to see from all of my centre-backs, to be honest. They've sounded out the no-nonsense centre-back apparently, and he has obviously previous in Germany. He did a successful season-long loan out in Stuttgart, where he earned promotion into the Bundesliga, and last season he was immense, as it says by Klopp here, and he got 7.9 an average rating across 17 games, and he's valued at apparently 7.2 million, and the Reds have him under contract until 2023, so only 2 years. But obviously if we are going to sell Nat Phillips, I'm wanting at least 15 mil. If we can see these other players, I'm not having a pop at Arsenal here, but Ben White, 50 million to Arsenal. I'm not being funny. Ben White at the age of 24, Nat Phillips at the age of 24. I'm taking Nat Phillips. I'm taking Nat Phillips. Ben White, obviously a very good player, but there's no way in hell that he is worth 50 million pounds. And if he is, then Nat Phillips has to be at least 20. So listen, I don't want to sell Nat Phillips. This is the equation. I don't want to sell him, but if someone does come and offers a silly little bit of dough for Nat Phillips, then maybe it would be time to move on. And trust me, that's difficult for me to say as a huge Nat Phillips fan, trust me. His performances were unreal next season, and I think if someone did offer 15 to 20 mil, maybe we'd say goodbye to Nat Phillips. But if no one does, if no one wants to match what we think he's valued at, then we're keeping him all day long. I'm sorry, but what a player to bring in off the bench, and maybe he even deserves a lower squad number for me. How about that one? Let me know in the comments now, guys. Do you buy? Do you sell? Do you loan out? When I say buy, give him a new contract probably, give him a better squad number, but do you invest in Nat Phillips? Do you sell him? Do you loan him again? I don't think a loan is any good for him now at this stage of his career. I would personally keep him, but let me know what you think in the comments. Another article that I read this morning made me chuckle a bit. It's titled, Never Ever Break Your Transfer Record for a Liverpool Player. Now, as we know, we've sold some players for quite a lot of money. Michael Edwards has been instrumental in those big deals, bringing in a lot of money to Liverpool. And I'm just going to run you through some names who Liverpool have sold as a record transfer for the other team, and how it's not really worked out for them at that team. The first one, which is actually a little bit unfair, is Peter Crouch. Now, it doesn't mean he's an underperforming player, because remember, Peter Crouch, I think he won the FA Cup at Portsmouth, but he was their record transfer in 2008 when we sold him in the transfer window. And then after that, the financial trouble really started to kick in at Fratton Park, and there's no doubt Crouch was a good player, but they had to sell him for a loss back to Tottenham just to get some money. So financially that one did not work out for Portsmouth. The next name, Fernando Torres. Now this one was a bit of an obvious disaster. Having said that, Torres did go on to win the Europa League and the Champions League at Chelsea and the FA Cup against Liverpool. So 3 trophies in 4 years at Chelsea, I think, and his goal record would say that it was a bit of a disaster, and as we all know, it took him 4 months to even score for Chelsea when he first went there. So yeah, he has to be up there. Obviously 50 million we sold him for, that was Chelsea's record at the time. Andy Carroll, we sold him, I mean, we had a shocker with Andy Carroll buying him, but we did sell him to West Ham for a record fee. Sam Allardyce spent the money on Big Andy. 26 goals in 102 games, that's about a 1 in 4 record, but it will always be remembered for his struggles with fitness and form, really, as it was at Liverpool, to be honest, as was his whole career, to be honest. That sounds quite harsh, but I do think that maybe Andy Carroll could look back at his career and think, could I have done more? Another one that we sold that was a record transfer signing to Bournemouth, Jordan Ibe. They broke their transfer record to sign an pretty much unproven Ibe in 2016, and he did not prove to be good business. He impressed on loan in the Championship, but just scored 3 goals in 78 games and then was released at the end of 2020. I mean, I have seen some interviews and articles recently where Jordan Ibe speaks out about his depression and stuff like that, which obviously you have to take your hat off to him and say well done for being so brave and coming out like that. But it just didn't work for Jordan for one reason or another, and I'm not too sure if he's still at Derby or he's struggling to get a club. So big up to Jordan Ibe anyway. And then again, Bournemouth, I'm sorry to say it, but you've broken your transfer record twice to sign Liverpool players. This was only 3 years after they signed Ibe, but this was Dominic Solanke. 19 million we managed to get for him, unbelievable. They weren't deterred at all by Ibe's obvious struggles. Eddie Howe inconceivably returned to Liverpool 2 years later to sign Dominic Solanke. 15 goals contributed to Bournemouth being in contention to return to the top flight, but it's a bit more settled now, and Jordan Ibe and Dominic Solanke, both 2 players that started off with a lot of promise and then have almost plateaued, if not dipped a bit. So there is some funny names there. And then obviously more recently, Ryan Brewster at Sheffield United, they broke their record. £23 million they spent on the 20-year-old with 0 top flight experience and 10 senior goals only in the Championship to his name. So not the best, but I was a big fan of Ryan Brewster at the time, and I really wanted him to stay at Liverpool, and it's quite sad really that he had such an awful season, or Sheffield United had such an awful season last year after such a good one the year before in the Premier League. Struggling to score goals, struggling to start. I've seen him out in Spain, I think it is, in pre-season for Sheffield United, so hopefully he can bang in the goals and get them back up to the Premier League next year. And then the last one I'm going to read you guys, as we all know, bit windy up here, Felipe Coutinho. We sold him for £145 million to Barcelona. He's looking to leave there. It's been an absolute disaster, which is really emphasised by the fact that he was at Barca, he was so bad that they loaned him out to Bayern Munich, and then he came on for Bayern Munich in the semi-final of the Champions League against Barcelona, scores a goal against Barcelona, and then wins the Champions League for Bayern Munich, and then goes back to Barcelona. They can't afford / want him anymore. So he's looking for a cut price return to England probably. And let me know in the comments if you would take Felipe Coutinho for 20 mil. There you go, there's another video. Today we've spoken about, should Nat Phillips go? Should he stay? Should he get a new squad number? Let me know in the comments. And I've rounded up the fact that really, you should never ever break your transfer record on a Liverpool player. I'll be back tomorrow morning for much of the same. Take care, subscribe, one love, you never walk alone. Whoa, just before you go,
don't forget, give us a like, drop us a comment and subscribe to the Kop TV.
The voice of football's most famous stand.